Qualcomm is claiming that their new Snapdragon X Elite just beat Apple, being 21% faster than Apple's M3 chip. Man, Qualcomm is saying that their chip, which is slated for the second half of 2024, is faster than the already mass market produced chip in its base configuration. This has to be a joke because when you look into it, it is absolutely insane. Now, this Snapdragon has 50% more cores, and they are 12 performance cores compared to 4 performance and 4 efficiency cores in the M3, but it's only 21% faster. And of course, they did not mention single core performance, although I will talk about this in just a bit. And the most insane thing is that they were running this chip at 80 watts of power, worse than what Intel was doing. And that is being compared to an M3. The M3 chip is designed to work in a fanless MacBook Air and in super thin iPads, which the M3 is going to be in. And in the MacBook with the fan, it is running under 20 watts in very heavy use compared to 80. Now that means that the M3 gets 608 score per watt compared to the X Elite's 191. That is a massive performance per watt difference. Now, if you actually look at it, it should be compared to none of Apple's chips because the M3 Pro uses 27 watts in the unbinned version and the M3 Max uses up to 54, not 80. And the crazy thing is, even in a 16-inch MacBook with that M3 Max at 54, it already pushes the fans really hard. So an 80-watt chip would have to be in a massive, thick Windows laptop with crazy cooling, but even those right there, 80 watts is just insane. Now, the M3 Pro that uses 27 watts, that thing scored 15,661. So that beats out the X Elite while using about a third of the power. And the M3 Max, which uses up to 54 watts under full load, scores 21,428, smoking the new Snapdragon while using a lot less power. And then if we compare the performance per watt here, the difference is massive. So how could they be using a massive 80 watts of power? Well, I definitely don't think that we'll use that much once it ships. I think the only reason that they ran it that high was in order to beat the M3 because it takes a ton more power to get just a little bit more performance. For example, the M3 Max uses twice the power as M3 Pro to get just 36% more performance, so the M3 Pro's 27 watts is really the sweet spot. Now, Qualcomm did say that they will have an efficiency-focused 23-watt profile, which sounds about right, but of course, taking 80 watts, bringing it down to about 23, the performance will go down quite a bit. And the binned M3 Pro uses 23 watts and that scores about 13,692. Now, based on all of our ARM chip testing here at MaxTech, that should bring the score down to about 9 to 10,000, which is about the performance of the M2 chip, but of course using more power. Now, if that seems like it's way too low, look at their current SQ3 processor in the Surface Pro 9. It scores 5,795. So this would mean that this new chip would still be a really good improvement, and it's also using a bit more power and having a 12 core. Now, the SQ3 was quickly forgotten because Microsoft's Surface Pro 9, with that chip, it actually costs more than even the best Intel chip. And at the time, looking at Geekbench 5, it got worse performance. Now, people argued that you should get it for battery life, but the battery life was not significantly better. Now, of course, they will run this Elite chip higher than 23 watts. I was guessing about 30-ish or so, but when researching, I actually found a leaked benchmark having it run at 28, which is just a bit higher than Apple's M3 Pro. Now, it scored 13,021 at 28 watts compared to 14,201 for the M2 Pro, which uses a bit less power. So no, this thing is not a chip that defeats Apple. That is just marketing. it does slightly beat out the M1 Pro while using more power. And as far as performance per watt, the old M1 series, which is based off of the A14, is still better. So that chip uses more power and it slightly beats out the M1 Pro, but it will come out almost 3 years after that chip. And they had to run triple the power of the already unbinned M3 Pro, but it still lost to it. So they marketed it against the M3, and we're not even gonna see that chip for another half a year. Now, what about the single core performance? They didn't mention it because of course it is not as good, but I found the score in a leaked benchmark. Pushing 500 extra megahertz to one core compared to the M2 Pro, it barely beats it out. But the M3 at that same clock speed, of course, beats it by a lot. With that said, it is still a good improvement from their current SQ3 chip, and it is slightly better than their new flagship Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 smartphone chip. Now, what about graphics performance? Well, it actually has the same graphics as that new mobile chip, and that scores 32 FPS in Wildlife Extreme. The original M1 scored 30, so it barely beats it out, and it will come out almost 4 years later. Now, the current entry-level M3 scores 49. That is a difference of over 50%, and of course it uses less power, and it is already out. But with that said, the X Elite chip should not be compared to the M3. That is their highest end chip. So if we take a look at the M3 Pro, that scores 87, almost 3 times the performance. And let's not even talk about the M3 Max. And then we need to get into the actual experience of using an ARM chip with Windows. Qualcomm themselves said that it's good hardware, but they have to use Windows, basically admitting that that is gonna be an issue because you have to use Windows designed for ARM. And if you have looked at that in the past, and if you have used it, you would know that it is terrible. We have tested it here with the previous version, and apps just work terribly. A lot of apps don't work at all. You have to use older versions. Then you are limited by how much RAM it can use because it's designed differently with 32-bit running in there. And then it's super slow, super stuttery. So even some of these benchmarks that we are looking at, well, running Windows instead of Android on the graphics side, it likely is going to be worse than that. And so the whole experience gets ruined because Windows is so far behind. And Qualcomm admits that. So this whole thing is kind of funny, saying that it is 21% better than the M3 because of what they had to do to reach that, and everything else they just did not talk about. So while I would say that it is great that we are having competition and Qualcomm is stepping it up, and of course they took engineers from Apple that started a new company and they bought it out in order to get here, they are still really behind. You guys go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below, what you think of all of this. Go ahead and click that circle above to subscribe and check out one of the great videos right over there. This has been Max, and I'll see you in the next one.